My name is Mapori.
I'm Tobega Boya.
I am Katlego Mogola.
And I am Bugega Mbonyana.
I'm Kinita Makome.
I am the director, one of the directors of the show. The name of the show is Isolated Thoughts. We are joined minds. So Isolated Thoughts focuses on different issues that we do not, or that the society do not focus on when they talk about our sexuality. So basically, when you say you are a lesbian woman, the only focus is the only challenge that you are facing is you are a lesbian woman, but then forgetting that you are a sister, you are a mother, you are a daughter, and all the other things, like you are part of the society. So our show was addressing those issues, the isolated things that they don't talk about, that also we are facing challenges at schools, and the system of the schools, like of books that they teach with at school, do not recognize us lesbian women. So this show also focuses on we are addressing this as young black lesbians specifically, yes. And then so the books of knowledge do not recognize us. It means from a very young age at school, grade 1 upwards, LO, life skills, they do not recognize us. Yeah, I think that's where I end.
I'm also the director of the show. Isolated Thoughts, it also focuses on what happens to us when we come out to our families. The rituals they make us go through. Sometimes if you are your family, they are Christians, they'll take you to a pastor, to a church, they'll pray for you, or they'll take you to a sangoma for that matter, and they'll perform a certain ritual because they believe that you're haunted by an evil spirit. So you'll find yourself hopping from one prophet to the other. They're trying to come up with a solution to fix you because your sexuality is not normal. It doesn't fit in. They'll go as far as you are a disgrace to this family. We have never had that. Not us, not in our name, not in our family. So, Joint Minds, we usually perform, we usually do a theater on location or site specific. So, we specialize with that. Most of our works, we do them outside, out in the streets or anywhere, but outside. That's where we normally do our works. And we are also activists, and the kind of style that we use, activism. And we, in most cases, we incorporate different art forms. For Isolated Thoughts, there was photography, there was visual art, there was movement, there was a little bit of text, and there was also music. So yeah, we don't focus on one genre. We incorporate different styles. Yeah.
Okay, I am part of the visual part, which is the fine art and the photography. And most of my pictures are of women and how we carry each other or how the society treat us. There's a picture that I did of a woman with a face on the vagina. And also lesbian women get pregnant and people question that how did you or whatever, or you are not supposed to or something like that because you are interested or you are attracted to the same sex. So yeah, my visual part is focusing on the bodies of women. Yeah.
Shoo. Shoo. You guys have said quite a mouthful. What do I say? You're being brought into this. It was eye-opening for me. I've known Bokatlego for as long as I can remember. Their sexuality. I'm very comfortable with who they are. But I think when you are invited into such a space, you get to actually just open up in terms of your perspective. We've been taught to just be narrow-minded, that there's a boy, there's a girl. A boy and a girl are supposed to be together, and no woman or woman, like basically Adam and Steve. There's no Adam and Steve. There's Adam and Eve. So for me, I think this was just eye-opening to say, hey, we exist in a society together, but we do not accept one another. We basically just tolerate one another. Um, there's no love. There's a very thin line in terms of saying, I love you. You know, it's like, and I love you in just in passing, but you don't accept the person for who they are. I feel as a society we need to learn to say we love each other as human beings, regardless of your sexuality, whether you love boys or you love girls. It really doesn't matter. We are all human beings at the end of the day.
You just keep taking them, don't you? So I'm the production manager of the show, Isolated Thoughts, and a member of the actual group Joint Minds Artists. With the specific show that we've just presented, Isolated Thoughts, the mission there, like everyone has said, was to show that this is how we are treated and this is how it is that we are. But there's more to it in some form or the other, which we also brought the show to educate people that we do exist. We also are here to inform people, because just because you educate someone does not mean they learn something. You can just inform them and keep them with the message. We also had the view of the politician system around us. Does it actually even care about us, or is it a way for them to as well make money out of saying we are funding such things and actually doing nothing about it, with having to have us as part of the society and a norm? You would most probably find that if we were to look at statistics, probably most women who are raped are lesbian women, and somehow they blame the fact that women go lesbian based on the fact that they've got stories to tell, and this is how they went wrong with men. And truthfully speaking, that's not the truth. Truth is, I'm a woman who's attracted to other women. I've always been, and can that just be taken as it is without being questioned? As well, in terms of education, we are living in a generation where we need to educate from as little as birth. From the minute I push out a child, I need to let my child know that this is what the society is. This is what you have, all right? And as a country and the world, Africa as a whole, we need to get to a point where we learn what we focus on. I mean, someone's sexuality shouldn't be the cause of death. Someone's sexuality should not be the reason they don't have employment. Someone's sexuality should not be the reason why they're segregated from the norm, all right? Because if I'm out there in my skirt, as you can see today, I'll be taken as a straight woman who's attracted to another man. Little do you know that I'm attracted to another woman, you know? So those are questions that people need to toggle around their heads, stipulating and questioning themselves of, who am I really, and do I really accept what I think I accept? Is it just because, like we've mentioned, we give you free food, free lunch, free transport? Are you going to pitch for an event because of that? Some people are dying for your rights, right? And as an example to that, the total shutdown, the reason why that whole total shutdown happened, it was not only based on women, but as well had a context of being a lesbian woman in the society we live in today. So yeah, in a nutshell, practically all what we've said is practically about the show. And we're grateful for the fact that Vavasati gave us the opportunity to showcase this specific presentation that we had, the State Theatre as well, giving us the space that we used so beautifully, and having people wanting more.
And also, we are grateful that the South African State Theatre gave us this opportunity through the Vavasati Festival. And I just want to say there's always like a challenge as a creative when you create work with limited resources and limited funding, because in most cases you'll find that people leave you along the way, because someone will say, I cannot be coming to rehearsals every day and I'm using my transport money, and so you lose people along the way. And sometimes you work very hard to convince them that, guys, it's gonna work out at the end, let's do it, come on, let's do it, it's gonna work out. It becomes a difficult task, and losing people on the way, you also feel like, am I doing the right thing? What's wrong with the work that we are doing? So also working with limited resources and limited funding, sometimes it leads to losing performers, and sometimes you even doubt your work. Sometimes you feel emotionally drained, and yeah, it comes with a lot of that. And sometimes you seek support in different people that you thought they will be there, they will support you, but when you tell them about the content of the work, they'll say, we are tired of this lesbian things and women and rapes and what. No, we're really tired. We've been hearing that story. But how are you getting tired if it's not getting better? It's getting more and more and more. Violence is almost everywhere. But here you are saying we are tired of those stories. So it is very important for us to continue telling these stories. And platforms such as Vavasati, they are opening doors to say, come, tell your story as it is. And I was very glad that there isn't a point where the curators or anyone else from Say Theatre said, I think he should have, no, don't do a show like that. No, don't do it. We just came with the work as it is, and they accepted it, and we did it as it is. And we are very grateful for that, because they gave us a platform to say, okay, this is your voice, this is how you tell stories, tell it as it is. Yeah.
To add to that, we would also like to, if putting it this way makes sense, question how much thought is put into making sure that art as a whole, be it how we tell our stories as women, be it how we tell our stories as lesbian, how is the effort and time put to art? That question is something going towards the hierarchy of the country. How much of them think of art as a way, as a channel of directing stories, instead of us having to stand in boardrooms or whatever and try and discuss this? How many of these people actually look down and realize that, oh, there is a platform called art. Let's use it to the best of our ability. That's touching to the fact of funding. I mean, it's very difficult with the work we've presented. We've had to use so much more than we've received. All right. And with that being said, this needs to be looked at as well as a career to us, because this is our career. We are here to express stories. We are here to give stories. We are here to tell stories. And the great thing about Joint Minds and Isolated Thought, this is our story. These are stories we have all put together. And what did you go through? What did you go through? What did you go through? What are you seeing out there? What are your challenges out there when you're trying to educate someone about this? And we've made it one. And that's the success that we come up with. So in terms of performance-wise, we everywhere. Name it, we'll be there.
So we usually do collaborations. As you've realized on the poster, there is no directed by. It just says Isolated Thoughts, Join Minds. So we bring like different things into this thing, and we don't want it to be, it's a group. It shouldn't be brought to you by South African State Theatre and Joint Minds directed by. That is not important to us. We just want to tell the story as we are. Who directed it, who choreographed it, who composed the music, who came up with what, it doesn't really matter. So you can catch us on Facebook, Join Minds. We have a Facebook page. We don't have a Twitter handle yet, but we do have a Facebook page, Join Minds. That's where we upload most of our work.
If anyone wants to collaborate with us, any other artist, maybe you're a photographer, you're a visual artist, please, you can hit us up on Facebook, and then we can collaborate and get to, mingle and cook something and get to tell each other's, get to know each other's stories and expand it and express it, because like Kgaogelo said, that it's not important who directed it. What is important is getting together as women and telling our stories, and it's our stories, and we tell them the way we want to tell them. We are based in Joburg, Davidton, Soweto, and Limpopo, yes. So basically, like Ginita said, if you want us to come somewhere, just let's, cook something up and get together and cook it and make it happen and tell our story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Oh, the email address. So if you want to send us an email, you can get us on jointminds6 together @gmail.com. Now, that's our email. Send us an email. Let's collaborate. Yeah. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.